Bonjour and welcome back to another video where today I'll be showing you what it's like to fly on Lufthansa's Airbus A320 from Frankfurt to Paris. It's safe to say things didn't really go as planned, but it all worked out in the end. Anyway, let's get into it. We start off in Frankfurt Pier A, where we just deplaned our 747-8 from our flight from Washington, D.C. Be sure to check out that flight's dedicated trip report, which is linked in the description. We only had a couple of hours to spare before our connecting flight departed, so we used our time wisely. After walking to the duty-free shop, we realized just how tight this connection was going to be, thinking we had plenty of time when in reality we didn't. Although 2 hours did sound like enough, in the maze that FRA is, after we cleared customs and all, we didn't have time to just sit around. Once we realized this, we rushed to find our gate, which would wind up being in the exact same pier we arrived in. We raced to catch our flight, but all in vain as it left without us. Here we are now, stuck in the business lounge of Frankfurt Airport and not in the best mood. I did see this really cool model of the 747-8, which is the plane we got off a little while ago, so I snapped some pictures of it. We ended up waiting around 4 hours for the next flight to Paris, which I used to my advantage and got plenty of time to plane spot. Once our plane arrived, we learned from the past and were the first passengers present at the gate. But anyway, on to where the real trip report begins. Once boarding started, we were directed downstairs into the streets below, where a few buses were waiting for us. On our way there, I saw the only 747-8 currently painted in Lufthansa's new livery. Once we got onto the bus, we took a ride through an AvGeek's paradise, where we eventually made it to our aircraft, which was parked at a hard stand. This Airbus A320 registered Delta Alpha India Zulu Charlie will be taking us on our hour-long flight from Frankfurt to Paris Charles de Gaulle. As we waited to board, I captured this United 777-200 in the Star Alliance livery while on approach. Funny enough, I brought this same model with me, which was in my backpack. What a funny coincidence. Because our seats were located at the rear of the aircraft, we decided to go up the air stairs that were also at the rear of the aircraft. We even got to walk past the engines. Hard stands always put into perspective the sheer size of an aircraft. Anyway, let's settle into our seats and wait a bit for departure, during which I saw yet another Star Alliance livery, this time on Lufthansa's A340-300. Even though we would have had business class seats on the flight that we missed, I won't sweat it since this flight was only an hour long. The economy seat we had today wasn't much other than your average economy seat. It had the ability to recline slightly, and the seat in front of you had a small tray table and a seat back pocket with your normal flight mag and safety card inside. Sorry that I didn't get any footage of this though. Located just above my seat, we have the individual air vents, the lights, and of course the button to call the crew. Sooner or later, we began our taxi and started moving to the runway. Paris, here we come. Anyway, here's our departure out of Frankfurt, runway 18. After takeoff, the crew came around and handed everyone these water bottles and this delicious chocolate. Since our flight time was just under an hour, there wasn't much to speak of. I used this time to get some much needed rest, as it's safe to say it's been a rather busy day. Soon enough, however, we could see France below us, and within no time we were on our descent into Charles de Gaulle. So here's our arrival into Paris CDG, runway 27 right.
Gäste, willkommen auf dem Flughafen von Paris, Charles de Gaulle. Bitte bleiben Sie noch so lange angeschaltet sitzen, bis wir unsere Parkposition erreicht haben und die Anschnallzeichen ausgeschaltet sind. Öffnen Sie die Gepäckfächer vorsichtig, damit keine Gegenstände herausfallen. Überprüfen Sie auch Ihre Sitztasche, damit sie nicht an Bord.
We held short of the runway next to us for a bit, where I got to see two 777s take off in a row, first in Air Canada, then in Air France. Once we got the all clear, we crossed the runway and made our way to the ramp. Something interesting was that I also brought my Lufthansa A320 model with me, specifically to get a picture of it next to the plane I just flew on through the window of the airport. When we asked the person standing at the gate, they said no, and let's just say not in the kindest way possible. Other than that though, welcome to Paris, France. I haven't been here in years, and frankly, it's nice to return. Let's also take a moment to sit there puzzled at whatever this is. In summary, the flight itself was fine, and other than missing the first flight, everything went well. In addition, it's safe to say I got my fair share of plane spotting that day. Even after we landed, I caught some pretty cool aircraft taxiing around. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up the second trip report on my channel. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. So, until next time, fly safe.